Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the MuscleMind podcast. This is Matthew Foster. We have Cody Robinson with us today as well. Today we're going to discuss the positive effects exercise can have on the good old brain of ours. How's it going, man?
It's going good, especially we're kind of prepping for this specific podcast, and we got a lot of things going on in our lives right now, and
good one.
I'm super excited because I think we're gonna take this some different directions. We were initially talking about this one. There's so many ways you can go about how exercise can affect your brain and mood and all this other stuff.
Well, obviously, everyone and their mother understands and knows that exercise has a positive effect on you.
Right.
I think we all know that. I think one of the most important ways, or I think the most important takeaway of this podcast is understanding how to figure out what is best for you and can help you, because exercise affects certain people different ways, like we were just talking about before. Whether you're doing strength training, a HIIT workout, or cardio, or maybe yoga, yoga might affect me totally different than it might affect you.
Yeah, that's why I'm super excited about this one, because I think we're going to kind of manipulate it in that manner. Because a lot of times you'll hear people say, go run, go walk, go lift, you'll feel better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know it releases endorphins because your body is getting worked. But today we're going to kind of share a little bit about how certain areas or certain types of exercise kind of affect myself, how they might affect you differently.
Right.
And hopefully it can kind of give you some insight, because I don't know how people really stop and think and assess themselves off of what type of exercise really benefits, or if they're doing just one type of exercise. Is it time to throw in a different type of exercise?
That's very true. You were just saying something about your wife wanting to go out tonight.
Yeah. I was just talking about how and I'm usually a social butterfly, but sometimes this time of year, when you get in the holidays, you get a little kind of party fatigue or whatever, because you're going from here and there and really trying to spend time with each other or other people.
It's me 24/7.
And so for me, if for some reason I get to the point where I feel like I'm wanting to be a little antisocial, because I'm actually naturally an introvert, believe it or not.
Yeah, me too. Big
so
time. Yeah.
I'll do some type of high intensity something, or I'll go run, or something that's really going to get my heart rate up.
Yeah.
And then I'll be ready to go, and we'll be.
And I was telling him, if I did some type of high intensity training workout, or I went and ran and did cardio, I'm not going to want to be around. I'm going to want to go lay down and shower and watch a movie, and I'm done. But if I do a good strength training workout, not a bunch of cardio, I'm not going to get my heart rate up that much, but if I do a lot of strength training, I feel better, ready to kind of go into, going out, or maybe going to that dinner party or something like that. So that's what we were talking about, what type of exercise affects certain parts of your brain and what works better for you. Some people train in the mornings and get that run. True. And they feel like they're on cloud nine all day. While some people, if they do that, they're completely done for.
Right.
I think that's a big avenue into kind of figuring out what works best for you and different ways to figure that out.
No, exactly. So we were talking about a couple of there are different regions of the brain, and how
this is interesting.
How exercise really types to kind of, I guess, manipulate these, or that's what's funny to me. I was telling Matt too. I said maybe one of the reasons, it's going to be my excuse right now, that I'm not as lean as I really should be is because I use exercise to kind of change my mood or affect how I feel, or if I need to be more productive, or if I need to actually relax.
Just a quick point on that. For it, so a lot of people, whenever they say they exercise, it makes them want to eat better.
Mm-hmm. That's
I'm the opposite.
I'm that way.
If I don't work out, I will refuse to eat bad. But if I exercise, I'll go have that burger with no guilt.
And see, it's weird. I'm the all or nothing mindset. Yeah. It's like if I'm going to work out right, I'm going to eat better, so I'm not going to sabotage it. Sure. And I'll clean my office more. I'll clean up better. But if one thing of those is really off, everything else kind of starts to kind of fall apart.
It's strange.
Yep.
But sorry.
No, you're good. I love this stuff, and I really do think I am very intentional, and have gotten a lot more intentional after having 2 businesses, and then as we've grown and doing this stuff of trying to use specific types of workouts for it. So like the prefrontal cortex. So that's really the reason of your brain that you're talking about cognitive behavior, your personality, your expression of your personality. Because sometimes we can feel really off You know, we kind of get into a rut or whatever.
Especially this time of year, man.
Yeah.
There's something in the air.
Yeah. And then you get into the wintertime of the seasonal affective
Seasonal
disorder.
depression. Yeah.
So that can really help you kind of bust through that. And then decision making, like there's if you don't have the sense of clarity or if you have this jumbled up, you can't, exercise can really help you kind of line up things. For some reason, it's just the way. And we could get a whole lot nerdy, and maybe down the road we'll get even more scientific on these, but this is just kind of that connection. And then, in moderating your social behavior. So like what I was just talking about a minute ago. Mm-hmm. So that's one area. So like for, let's say, let's do resistance training first, like for me. So weights, like for me, if I'm really wanting to get my confidence up or whatever, that's always going to be, that's what I'm going to go to. Like some pretty heavy lifting, or we just did an episode recently about time under tension, and so I'm really challenging my abilities to my discipline in that respect of that. But anyway, once I'm done, I feel stronger, I feel more confident, and that's what I use it for. But
sure,
how do you feel about weights?
Yeah, the same way. If I have like a big decision to make, or if I've I might have some big social, like you said, I'm a very introverted person. Large crowds of different people like that, I don't necessarily like them. So if I know, like for example, this weekend, my girlfriend, she graduates UAB Saturday, and I got to go to her graduation party, I will work out before that. If I don't, I'm gonna be all messed up. Like you said, I think it's more like a confidence thing, but it's kind of more or less of, taking your brain off of that and focusing on training, focusing on exercise, whatever, yoga, whatever it is, it might be stretching, whatever, and off of what it is that's cluttering your brain to begin with. So kind of shifting that focus. That's why. Like I hear this a lot. Moms who have kids love getting up in the morning and going on a run. Yeah, we're doing yoga because they don't have to think about kids. They don't think about kids. That's their time to kind of be by themselves. Yeah, and I think it's a good thing to adopt, of exercise being your time for your brain to just unclutter itself, kind of sort out what it is you need to do. Like if I have a big business thing or something that's been on my mind or something, walking on the treadmill, doing cardio gives me clarity. Yeah, if you're trying to give. So that's what I was thinking a minute ago about. Like for me, like if I am trying to kind of get my head in the right zone, not necessarily get away from it. So like where like a lift or another type of exercise might actually just completely pull my brain out of thinking, which you do need to give your brain a break, and that's my biggest struggle. I always struggle to like kind of shut it off or divert it. Yeah. But if I am trying to find some type of, trying to make a decision or trying to see the bigger picture, there's a lot of strategy in life and business and those types of things. So like a walk or a run or something like that will kind of help me really bust through it. And sometimes if I'm trying to learn something new, I'll do kind of that. I'll take some time and do like a slower, steady state, and I'll read something or I'll watch something while I'm kind of doing that. And anyway. And I think the reason why a lot of that works, because there's a lot of people that feel the same way about doing stuff like that. If they have something in their mind, they'll go exercise or whatever. And I really do think it's because it just unclutters your brain. It lets your brain sit back and think about what it is and kind of compartmentalize what's important, what's pressing, what do I need to figure out now, while your body's in motion, while your body's exercising. Yeah. So you're not having that stress of just sitting down, being lethargic. Your brain knows you're being active, productive. Right. It can kind of like sort things out a little bit more. Yeah. That's how I would. I think there's a lot of components with that, as far as like the epinephrine, the norepinephrine, like the dopamine stuff that kind of helps you relax down. That, while you were talking about that, it made me think about, I think one reason that people, when they come out of some like higher intensity exercises or something and they feel better, have more sense of clarity, is when you're going through stress, even if it's not physical stress, but if it's emotional stress or work or whatever, relationships, whatever it is, time of year, your body has stress on it. It kind of affects that. We hear about the fight or flight. Because so your body has this certain type of tension, which can cause your primary reaction is just to be more reactive. Right. Like you're just trying to get through it. That's why you can't really think clearly. You're just kind of going through and trying to suffer through. You're trying to make it work, but then you do some type of intentional workout or exercise or whatever, and food can have a tremendous impact on your mental capacity. Oh, sure. But today we're really talking about exercise. Yeah. I could see where if you go ahead and burn off that, a little bit of release of adrenaline or whatever's in your body due to the stress, that's when you can start to feel
better. You can actually sleep better because you come down off of it's like you said. You do kind of some type of higher intensity something. You're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm
go to sleep.
Yeah, but I think. I think everyone's body and I think everyone's brain reacts differently to certain things.
That's we want you to pay attention to what you do. What
right.
You need.
Try different things out. Like we did the Pure Bar class the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty ready to go.
And see, I was exhausted. I wanted to go take a nap.
See, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Like I ate and trained some more, and I was ready to rock and roll. We went out that night. Like I was good to go.
Yeah.
And I think it maybe because it was just a little bit different, or maybe it was like, damn, I just did like a Pure Bar class and I beasted that thing. And if I can do that, then I can handle the rest of my day. You know, that I think that too has a lot to do with, especially early morning workouts. People getting up, getting a workout, they get their confidence about themselves. They understand like, hey, I got up. Most people didn't do this.
Right.
I got up, got my workout in. I feel good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to crush the rest of my day. And whenever I get off work, I'm off. I don't have to. I'm clear and intentional about what I want to do that day, and your brain probably reacts to that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. There's just so many areas that it just lights up, and I think and really affects it in that way. It is funny that you said that because I felt like my day was just complete. I mean, I felt like I was kind of done. You were like ready to go, and I was like, I don't care if I do anything else. So it was just funny how that. I wonder why, but at the same time, what's going on in our lives before you go into that exercise. How is it going to affect you coming out of it? So super neat. Then we're talking about like the hypothalamus region of the brain. So especially like higher intensity stuff can really kind of affect this region, which really is more of like your autonomic nervous system. So like your pituitary gland and like your body, like regulation of temperature. I could even see it being even more so of your obviously metabolism, but even your immune system can be positively affected on this.
Right.
But then like regulation of thirst and hunger, it's like people that may struggle with certain regulation of those areas, if you're overeater or undereater or whatever. It's like your body, if you go through this type of full out usage of kind of the higher intensity stuff, I think your body will try to find a level of like homeostasis to kind of pull out of that. And then like even your sleep, obviously emotional activity is going to be huge, but I think sleep is so important for people because people are so restless or they struggle to kind of get to sleep. You and I don't have a problem sleeping.
No.
We can sleep anywhere.
I can sleep
pretty much any time.
But it drives my girlfriend nuts.
Yeah. I can sleep.
I fully came to the realization Sunday that I just require a lot of sleep.
Yeah. But
as a man, I require a lot of sleep.
Well, some people do, and
I'm so damn active though.
Well, that's the thing too. So the fact that, and you read a lot about like people that are really trying to improve their bodies, or if you're working on size or strength or whatever, your body sleep that's when your body recovers.
Right.
That's when
it
actually it's your body's natural method of decreasing inflammation.
Yep, it's natural medicine. That's basically what it
is. It's so crazy how healing, which is why because when you
have surgery or something, they give you a lot of like pain medicine so you can go to sleep so your body can
when you're
heal.
Sick, they say sleep it off to
sleep,
your immune system. But then like if you're doing like a lot of resistance training or whatever, if you're trying to break your muscles down, that causes inflammation in your body. That also causes you need recovery time. So I could see that being a lot of and you're pretty high energy, so you go until you don't go.
Yeah, and then I'm done.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've just thought about this, and I think it's really interesting. We're talking about brain function and exercise, and you hear about breakups from, let's say, girl, guy, been together, whatever, and the guy breaks up with whoever, and the girl's crushed. What's she going to go do? She's going to cry for a little bit. She's going to be sad, and she's probably going to go to the gym. She's going to put all of her focus, her energy into the gym, and she's going to look awesome, have more confidence, different things like that. I think that has or maybe the guy got his heart broken or whatever. And if I was dating somebody and they broke up with me, I'm going to the gym and I'm about to get sexy. But that's for my internal self.
Right.
I think that has a lot to do with brain and exercise, and it's like a natural instinct of getting yourself back together. I think exercise can be a great way to get your life back on track. I
think this stuff is so. I think we're gonna have to go a lot deeper into this stuff at some point, because it's even just taking one focus level. Because years ago, I always had this dream of having a business to where I think I called it like total fitness or total wellness or something, because of the whole mind and body
Yeah.
component that you and I care about so much. But like for somebody to come in, have some type of assessment or a survey or questionnaire, which these do exist, so maybe I need to find some, to where you actually you kind of identify what's off in your life at that point, and then trying to figure out what method, like if it's exercise, what type of exercise is going to be the best for that particular component. Because
I would be all about that
because
business.
it's a ripple. It's because I feel like your body's it's a ripple effect. Once you start to work on something or fix something,
100%.
then the other things start to kind of fall in line. So anyway, I just think it's neat to.
But once you start to fix something, and your brain understands, and you understand that whatever area it is that you're working on is getting improved, you start to notice other areas that you can improve as well.
Awareness, and we really hit home on this, I think, first of this year, especially from Home Fit's perspective, like from the business and then our own personal stuff, and then our clients, we were kind of reaching out and wanting them to kind of become more aware. I think that's what's really lacking, even more so in our society, especially our age groups, because there's so much going on that we're paying more attention to everybody else's lives than like hitting pause.
You're not worrying about yourself.
And that's why I actually got into, and I know journaling sounds like silly to some people, and
no, it's not either.
It flipped on to me, like I started doing it a little bit last year and some beginning of this year, and now I do it almost daily. And that's, even I only do it for 10 minutes, but it allows me to become more self-aware. What am I feeling?
Sure.
What am I going through? And then if I'm able to get into understanding what type of exercises are good, or routines are good, or whatever, then I can kind of choose what I might need to do that week or that day until I get over whatever I'm going through.
That's true. And to piggyback off the journaling thing, that can also go into, worrying about what other people, think.
Mm-hmm.
As to, I was talking to a client about journaling, and she'd been going through some stuff or whatever. And my initial gut reaction was, well, why don't you, write it down? Why don't you just write out whatever it is that you got going through, write out what workout you did that day, what you ate that day, how you feel, what what areas you think need help. And each day just kind of basically self-evaluate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you had a really good day, and why don't you go back and figure out what you did that day?
Yeah.
Why was today different than yesterday? Why'd you have a good day today, but you didn't really have a good one yesterday? Was it because you worked out in the morning? Was it because, your mood was just off? Was it, maybe you didn't look at your phone until 10 a.m. as opposed to checking it as soon as you woke up? Like, I think a lot of those, getting on to like journaling, a lot of that plays into your brain function and how your brain systematically sees what it is that you're doing and what's comfortable for you. You know who David Goggins is?
Sounds really familiar.
All right, David Goggins. He was a Navy SEAL, and he was a Ranger, and he was something else. But he was talking about. I was listening to him today. This guy did like 100-mile race.
Yeah.
And he is all about your brain function and what exercise can do for your brain, and how he said he did 100-mile race, but it was 1 mile around the track 100 times.
Yeah.
And he said, you don't understand what that can do to you psychologically.
Yeah.
To go around like, oh, it's only 27. Like, this is 33 or this is 50. I have 50 more of these,
Yeah.
And it's like understanding what exactly your brain can actually take.
Yeah.
And what your body can actually do.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is what your brain tells yourself.
Yeah.
Of, like, if you wake up in a bad mood, the hell with that. Like, no, I'm not in a bad mood.
Yeah, you can change it.
You can change it.
You're totally, you're like flipping it, which I love because it is so cohesive. Because we're talking about doing how exercise can affect your brain, but it's like the more aware you can become mentally, how can you use your body?
And prime example this morning, I had a 6 a.m. client, and I walked out of my place about 5:30, and it was freezing cold
today.
And I was like, oh, I just want to go back inside. I'm like, the hell with that. You know how many people got up today?
Yeah.
And just, my damn door's all icy shut, I'm like, just in a bad mood. And I sat in my Jeep for a minute. I'm like, dude,
It ain't that bad.
It ain't that bad.
Yeah.
It ain't that. You literally sat at home all day Sunday and watched football.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're going to do this Sunday. So,
Yeah.
this ain't that bad.
Yeah. That's for a lot of people, for anybody, if you can get to that capacity, you're kind of turning a new curve. I would say, so for people, kind of going a little bit back on the kind of the other end, let's say if you're somebody who is kind of a student to your own, that's what I call like a student to your own body.
Yeah.
which means you have to kind of learn from it.
Yep.
You kind of have to record how it reacts to certain things. So if you're somebody who's listening and likes to do that, I would say find some type of exercise, or especially if you're into fitness, which I think if you're listening to this, some capacity you probably
Some
are.
form, yeah.
Hopefully, if not, then start somewhere. But I would say try some other stuff, or if you do different variations, like a run day or a high intensity day or a weightlifting day or something like that. Actually record, even if it's in your phone or something in your notes. We like pen and paper, but if you have to do it quickly on your phone, that's fine. But record how it makes you feel, and record definitely how it makes you feel, and then even emotionally,
And
like later in the day. So that way you can start identifying how it affects you.
And you don't have to tell nobody about it.
No, it's your own world. Yeah.
I mean, who cares? I think we live in I think a lot of people should do that. I think a lot of people don't do that because they're not going to get any self-recognition from it.
Oh, true. And I really could care less about self-recognition.
Right, and I think a lot of people do, but I think a lot of people don't do. I think people know they should be doing stuff. This is really getting off topic, but
No, I think
people
it's fine.
know that they should be doing stuff, but they don't do it because we live in such an instant gratification world.
Right.
That journaling gets you. No one is going to praise you for it.
Right.
No one's going to hit that like button or comment like "great job."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Except for yourself.
Right.
I mean, you could give your own self praise, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Actually, if you get into that point, it's like anybody will say, you're not going to be your best version of yourself until you start giving yourself the right kind of appreciation
Heck yeah.
that you need, regardless of what somebody else thinks.
That's right. I'm like, I deserve to go get this workout in, or I'm going to write down and figure out why I had such a great day today. Or,
And I look at it, you can go farther than just yourself too. You can think about how it affects your relationships around you. Like for me, the reason I'm talking about wanting to do a certain kind of exercise is so, I can be a better version of myself when we go out and about with my wife today, or like parents. If you're hitting this high stress, point to where you find yourself kind of snapping on everybody, or you're getting super
you gotta
close.
Figure out why.
You got to figure out why, and then
Sure.
you got to also figure out what type of exercise or whatever you need to do in your life to go ahead and change that. Use it to your advantage. I think the more that you understand yourself, it's just tools in your toolbox. I'm going to go do this. I know I'm going to be better
100%.
for it. So therefore, you're more likely going to go ahead and do it, because it's not just tied into trying to lose weight or trying to, it's not tied into just an aesthetic goal. It's tied into a quality of life kind of goal.
Well, as the older that I get, I mean, I'm only 28, but the older I got, whenever I was, 20, 22, 23, I was all about my appearance and looking good and different things like that, and I don't really necessarily care about that so much as my brain function. I'm super high on brain function, and my brain function at a very, very high level, and I think that exercise just kind of plays right along with it. I feel different. I'm just a different person whenever I exercise. If I exercise at a different time of the day, I'm a little bit off a little bit, I guess.
Sure.
In all levels, I sleep differently. But it's putting your body on like a regimen too.
Right.
Putting your brain on a regimen, putting everything, especially Monday through Friday. I think it's important to have a schedule. On Sundays, I write out all my workouts for the week. It's in my little note section with my schedule, whatever. And that's what I do. I know if I do that, at the end of the week, at the end of the day, it was a successful week because I played out and planned out what I was going to do that week, and I did everything I was supposed to do.
Yeah. For years, I tried not to get hung up on routine. I just felt like it was going to box me in. I felt like it was, because I have so many different interests. I'm like, I'm 33 now, and I always felt like by the time I got to kind of mid-30s, I wanted to speak so many different languages or do all this stuff. And so you talk about trying to get as much brain capacity as going, and I'm definitely right there with you. But it wasn't until this past couple of years, especially this year is probably the biggest year for me, that regimenting your life on all capacities, the more that you can do that, you're going to be happier, you're going to be more productive, you're going to be, it's just crazy how
they
your
can
body,
change.
Yeah.
Routine can change.
Right.
Like, I'm not working, I probably am not going to work out today. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I might decide to go get a workout in later. That's fine. I'll just adjust the rest of the week. But I'm still on a routine.
Right.
It's not like just kind of throwing it all away, and so I'm not going to do this, so the whole week's just screwed.
Yeah.
That's not how, most people probably do that. I've done that in the past, but I don't do that anymore. I think that kind of plays along with brain function and routines, and, when I get done with my last client at 8 o'clock, if I'm like, I got to work out today, I'm going to go work out.
Yeah.
But if not, if I feel like I've, been successful doing this and done kind of what I wanted to do, then I'm going to be okay knowing that tomorrow's already planned out. I know what I'm doing, and it's going to be successful.
Yeah. I think looking at, setting routines and regimens from different angles, kind of going a little bit back to what you're talking about, how either you can let your actions, impact your brain, or you can have your brain impact your actions. And it's like two different words. But or two different approaches, but it's like so many people that go into just fitness or trying to get a regular exercise in, they're thinking of it as in their schedule, okay, I got to get 4 days in this week, so I just got to try and fit it in, versus like by getting 4 days in or 5 days in at this time frame, the whole, I'm going to be so much more effective. Like you're using those regimented times to actually kind of shape your day in your productivity of the day, versus just trying to squeeze one in. So I don't think that's very clear what I'm trying to say, but in the matter of either you can look at it as just another task that you're having to do, or you can look at it as a tool to actually impact your quality of life and your effectiveness or whatever.
Sure.
That's what we're trying to hit home today.
And I think there's a lot of, like you mentioned, tools and impacting your life. There's a lot of tools. Especially now, it's the thing about living in 2018, going into 19. Technology, is the bane of our existence. But it also, we're very lucky to live in a time where you can, utilize these apps to journal yourself. You can utilize these apps to write out your workouts and regiment your life. And there's apps with yoga on it. There's apps with meditation.
That's what I was just about to say. I was waiting on you to say, because I knew you were going to lead into it. Because we were watching the news last night, and they were talking about, I can't think of the name of the app. It's real popular right now. It's but it's for meditation, and it's not Happland. Yeah, I'm sure you type in meditation in the App Store, you'll probably find it.
I'll probably have it.
But they were saying that within the past year or the past couple of years, the desire for meditation has gone from something like 5% to 14% of the population.
Headspace.
And of course, Headspace. That's what it is. But utilizing those types of things. I use a Calm app from time to time. I don't meditate every day, I think, because I'm so reflective and I kind of have my own process in the morning. But sometimes I kind of need it. But again, you're being intentional. You're going to hear Matt and I say this all the time. Everything that you do, it needs to be intentional. If it's not intentional,
what's the point?
Then what's the point? What was it that I posted on Facebook today? It was a specific quote that I think really hits home to me quite often. I will get it really quick here in a second. It says Francis Chan. So our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter.
I mean, I think if you take that quote and you understand it and you grasp it and it makes sense to you, I think you're winning at life.
Completely.
That's just what I think. I think a lot of people don't understand a lot of the things we worry about and consume our life with don't really matter.
You and I think to the point of, like I said a minute ago, if I need to, so we were talking about fitness earlier, or exercise, how it impacts our positive impacts on our brain. But for me, if I really need to shut it all off, I'll go watch a movie or something. Yeah. But that's intentional. It's not like, hey, I think I'm just going to go watch a movie. I'm going to watch a movie to be able to shut my brain off. It's just about every decision I make.
And some people use reading to do that.
Right. Yeah. And my brain just wanders like crazy when I do that a lot of times.
And
everybody's different.
And that's, that's so true, because, and that gets into comparing yourself to other people and what they're like. I cannot stand when I see, The Rock does this. Yeah. Some super athlete does this, or some super celebrity does this. That's fantastic. It might work for them, but that does not mean it's going to work for you.
Yeah.
At all. Even with with like the workout space of training in the morning versus afternoon. Well, a lot of the richest people in the world train in the mornings. Well, there's a lot of rich people in the world that train in the afternoons too.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't necessarily mean one way is the other.
Yeah.
It's
I think they'll tell you too, if you sit down and actually talk to them, that they would say you got to find out what works best for you. I do this because this is what
works for me.
I don't think you don't usually hear them. Not many people say you've got to do what I do.
That's right.
They,
a lot of
just,
them won't. Well, the most successful and most humble ones won't.
No.
They'll be like, this is just what works for me.
But they did take the time to become
Figure it
more
out.
aware of themselves, and that's really what we're kind of hitting home here today. Yeah, cool, awesome. Anything else you want to throw in? Any sidebar as far as the
sidebars. We don't think we're perfect or have the perfect regimen or perfect lives or different things like that. But
nerdy.
Just nerdy, and think, we've worked with a lot of different people and have worked with different types of people over the years and understand human behavior, I think, very well.
That's I'm sorry. It made me think about. I've said this a time or two, but we had a client one time that, a CEO of a huge company, huge firm here, has probably 100 different employees or whatever, and we had a trainer that was going in, and they normally did fully functional workouts or whatever, and they could just sense that there was just so much stress on them that any more stress like that was not going to be a good thing,
Right.
and then not in a good mental state at all. So they spent time, really worked on just relaxation, flexibility, training, and it completely changed his mood set and his state of mind before
Right.
he even went into the workday. So anyway,
But
like
that's
you say,
true, though.
Yeah,
That's understanding like human behavior to its core.
right.
People, and I think we did a podcast. We're talking about self-efficacy, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about being honest and truthful with yourself, and that kind of ties back into this too. If you're not being honest with yourself, if you know you should be exercising more, but you're kind of telling yourself, 2 days a week of exercise is plenty, but you're not seeing the results that you want, so it's affecting kind of what you eat, and it's affecting your mood at work, and being honest with yourself of I need to be doing this more, and I need to be more interactive with my spouse or my significant other, and more involved in my kids' lives. I think a lot of that has to kind of ties back into the same realm of it all, I guess.
No, I love this stuff, and we love this stuff. That's why we call it MuscleMind, truly, just because of that whole interaction of human behavior.
Well, your brain's like you treat your brain as like a body part, like you're,
Right.
like you're training every week
Yeah.
or whatever.
So really the biggest takeaway from today is and we'll probably hit on some of these things. I know there's other areas of like how it specifically affects depression, how exercise impacts depression or PTSD, or how it affects anxiety, not just depression but also anxiety, confidence levels, people who are going through certain. There's even things on like schizophrenia, like just way deep psychological things going on, how exercise can impact it.
Well, here's the bottom line: people have been exercising for centuries.
Right. Your body's made to be used.
Yeah, and I think if your body goes unused, your brain, a lot of those, what you're talking about, gets
be off.
affected.
It's gonna be off.
Everything just gets affected. Now, I think exercise, if you were to do anything in the entire world, or if my world were to fall apart, I would still exercise.
Yeah.
Because as long as you can exercise and you can rebuild everything, you can grow, you continue to improve, and I think in successful people that clicks.
Yeah.
That
It's a
exercise is
regulator.
important.
It's a regulator for them. It's what really kind of brings things back.
It can humble you too.
Yeah. Oh, no question. So I'm glad you said that, because really that's what I was kind of leading to about our biggest takeaway today is if you can start to identify what types of exercise, what types of routines, how do they affect you? How can you use them to benefit you, whether it's social behavior, or whether it's trying to get your personal confidence up, or if you're trying to relax or calm down, like what is going to be the best solution or best workout or best routine in order to change your mental state and even regulate your body.
Sure.
So many people just go and do and just let that be the thing. But if you become more in touch with yourself and more true to yourself, you're going to be a better person for it, for sure.
Oh yeah, and you're going to start to see results not only aesthetically, but
Yeah.
like brain function and having better cardiovascular health, being able to go to Disney with your family without dying, like all those kinds of, or being like out of shape and
Yeah.
struggling to get through, like all those kinds of.
The true sense of
Different
wellness.
things.
I mean, you got the different components of
Sure.
relationships and personal and even spiritual life and that type of stuff. So it really does. You challenge yourself in the appropriate manner. You're gonna. Sometimes it's almost like a mirror. You're gonna reveal some things to you that you may not even realize that you got going on.
Yeah, talking about David Goggins. Oh man, this dude. I can't remember what he said about a mirror. You brought up a mirror, and he said it was his accountability mirror.
Mm-hmm.
That's who he was holding himself accountable to was himself.
Mm-hmm.
Bullied as a kid, blah blah blah. Now this dude's just an absolute animal. Does marathons on 18 straight weekends or something like that. Just a guy's a complete different level.
But only because he wants to do it for himself.
It's only because and he knows that his body can handle it, and he's accountable to himself. He holds himself accountable.
Right.
And a lot of people don't hold themselves accountable 100%. They expect someone else to, but truth be told, more than likely than not, no one gives a shit about you more than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you think a lot of people, they just don't understand and realize that.
Yeah.
To the full potential. Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome. I think that's awesome. I think it's a good way to kind of wrap up that one. I'm intrigued to hear what kind of feedback we get from people and other routes that we can kind of pull from this down the road.
Well, there's a lot of different, like we kind of touched on breakups and, how your brain is like goes in that like self-evaluating phase and like what can I do to get better.
We only talked about 2 regions of the brain. There's a whole lot more regions of the
tons.
body that we can talk about.
Oh yeah.
At some point, I wouldn't be opposed to us talking about even how, well, it is what it is, like how fitness affects your sexual life. But we'll
We can talk about that now if you want.
I mean,
I
think we've been going for a while, but I mean, we can kind of tap on it a little bit if you want to.
Well, we can touch a little bit on it. You talk about, because this is something I feel very strongly about, seeing guys in the gym who have chicken legs that don't squat.
Yeah.
Well, testosterone, you produce testosterone. It flows upwards from when you're doing squats.
Right.
It raises your testosterone, which increases your libido.
They're bigger muscle, and they're much bigger muscles. Bigger muscles in your body, so it's going to cause more resynthesis, more increase in testosterone, and So I just think it'd be cool to have a whole nother.
That would be an interesting
whole nother
one.
topic.
It'd be a good one too, because I feel very strongly about that.
Yeah, I mean, people don't think about that. It's like when they get into even like marital status and things like that. Now you can get overstressed. You can get way so stressed because your brain and your body, you can lose that kind of connection with it. Yeah. But if you're just kind of if your cadence is off, or if you're trying to kind of reinitiate that kind of connection with with your spouse, your significant other, or whatever. Believe it or not, exercise. Yeah, if you don't do that on a regular basis, your body will, again, it's a regulator, will start to kind of regulate those things and ramp up.
And it affects your libido.
Right.
I mean, for women too. I mean, it affects your, and also for the obvious reasons, your ability to perform, especially as a male. Your stamina, conditioning, a lot of that goes in. I mean, plays a role in it too.
Right.
One of a major reason why I exercise, to stay in shape, and it is what it is, but whatever motivates you, I guess. But, yeah.
Anyway, so lots of ways and lots of exercise can be a tool for a lot of things in your body, but definitely become more aware of how it can affect you mentally. But
absolutely.
I think that's all I got for today, really.
Yeah, that touches a lot of things. That's it for me. Exercise, the effects it has on your brain, and we got into a lot of different things. I mean, like
we knew we would though.
Yeah, I mean, just like routines, but it all correlates back to each other.
Yep.
I think. Don't forget, HomeFit is still 10% off all their services the rest of the year. Go to homefitconsulting.com. They have a little contact sheet there. Fill it out, and my man Cody right here will reach out to you in a hot minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.